I'm not going back and forth with a man who thinks that they should be in my position. If you want to be in my position, get in my position.
Do you believe that?
Bluff City Media presents The Anthony Sain Show on YouTube at Bluff City Media. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Anthony Sain.
Acknowledge me.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Anthony Sain Show. This is, of course, your host, Anthony Sain. My man, Kenny Stubblefield behind the glass. Kenny, what to do, my brother?
My brother, it's been a good week, man.
Man, it's been a good week for sure, man. The weather has been great, man. Everything has been good. These damn allergies of mine are definitely kicking in for sure, man. I've been getting right on that Allegra at the house, man, for sure, with the weather changes for sure, Kenny.
No roll down windows for you?
Man, I had to, man. My air ain't working.
Oh, yeah.
My air went out in the middle of the wintertime. I was like, I'll fix that when it gets hot.
I'll fix that when it gets hot.
But yeah, it's
all of a sudden now it's here.
Yeah, it's here now, man. It is time to get the AC fixed for sure. I've been making some calls around town to check into that for sure, man. I said, I'm going to hold on to that money during the wintertime. But yeah, it's time to go ahead and get the air taken care of in the car for sure.
We have the same thing going on with our house right now. Our downstairs unit is completely out.
No, I can't be hiding the house.
Our upstairs
I had to
unit
move out if that was going on.
Right. But it happened over the wintertime, right?
Yeah.
So we were like, Tracy and I were like, we're good. We'll hold off on this until it gets hot. And now,
yeah, it's starting to warm up.
Now we got to start planning to pay for it.
Yeah, man. It happens. It happens for sure. Well, things were warming up in FedEx Forum last night.
Segway King.
Look at that, man.
Segway King.
That's what they call me for sure, man. Your Memphis Tigers got the big 76-52 win over Charlotte, the Charlotte 49ers, I think, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, a.k.a. Briarcrest High School.
Briarcrest Light.
Cordova High. Was in the FedEx Forum
We're not
last night.
disrespecting White Station like that.
Exactly, man. Exactly. It's like the Tigers covered the spread as well, Kenny Stubblefield. They were a 6-point favorite. They covered that.
By like 4 times.
I saw not a piece of this game. I was out drunk as hell last night. I wasn't drunk as hell, but I was out drinking. And the game went on television where I went, so.
It was on ESPN Plus.
I know, so yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't see none of it. I would check my phone every now and again. Y'all catch me up on this, because this is what I'm missing, right? I've seen Joe Cooper everywhere to this morning, right? He gave a kid some shoes, and people were like getting excited about him. Joe Cooper played 9 minutes, was 1 or 2 from the field for 3 points. Like, what happened that I missed?
He's a walk-on, man. Came in and didn't look like a walk-on. Shot a 3, made it.
Shot a 3, made it. Okay.
Looks like a diesel out there. He's dieseled up.
Okay.
Like, he don't look like, hey, man.
He made some energy, he did some energy stuff?
Not even. I mean, like, he just didn't look like every other walk-on that they have. like, let's be real.
He does look like he can hoop for real, though.
No, he's a hooper.
What's his story? Like, why is he a walk-on?
I don't know his story. He played at Northwest Mississippi Community College for maybe 1 or 2 years, I think. I actually don't know his story that well, but from what I understand, where he played in high school, he was really, really good. And I think he might have played in Mississippi, if I'm correct.
Ole Miss?
No. In terms of high school.
High school. Oh, I thought he was a Memphis
he played
kid.
for Olive Branch.
Oh, okay.
He played for Olive Branch.
That's Memphis enough.
Yeah, and so, he comes in. He don't look like, hey man, all respect to this kid. He's awesome. He's a good kid. He don't look like Noah Stansberry out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he looks like he could actually hoop a little bit. And so, I mean, but you know how Tiger fans are, man.
We just looking for something to get
how
behind.
Memphis fans are.
Yeah,
Memphis
exactly.
fans, whether it's Grizzlies or Tigers, man, they love it when they got a local kid coming out and doing anything that looks like it resembles basketball.
Because we've seen people try to figure out, do we sign Jordan, whatever this kid, the Grizzlies guy,
Jordan.
I don't know his name.
Which one, from Memphis?
No, the 10-day dude. I don't know, man. Jordan somebody.
He's back here. Parrish, he's back here. What is he talking about? What 10-day dude? Who? Jalen Crutcher?
He said, no damn Jalen Crutcher.
He said Jordan. I don't know who you're talking about.
He's on the Jordan Hawkins, or was that his name?
Man, it's been too long since the Grizzlies been off for way too long, man. What did you drink last night? That's the question.
No, man, come on, bro. Y'all know who I'm talking about, man.
Jordan Hawkins.
No, his name is Jordan somebody. Jordan Goodwin, man. Damn.
Oh. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I've seen people talk about, like, oh, did we keep him? Like I get
we couldn't even remember his name,
Right.
man. Like I don't think we should be signing anybody.
if it took like 5 dudes in the studio, nobody knew what I was talking about.
It took the beat writer for the Grizzlies going, I don't know
Oh,
what
you
the
know?
hell.
Oh shit, I don't know.
I don't know.
Paris Sarkis. Literally every game. I don't know what you're talking about, man.
I don't know.
Jordan.
Michael Jordan's playing for the Grizzlies?
Michael B. Jordan, who? Paris back there, I don't know who the hell I'm talking about. But yeah, man. But speaking of people in the studio, man, we got my guy Xavier Dotson, man. He's gonna join us.
Big Zay?
He's gonna join us for the sit down with Sain. Zay has great videos, man, that he has. I stay my old ass up to wait for a 25-year-old young man to edit a video. That's where I'm at in life, man. That's why I find the simple things, Kenny. I stay up late at night to watch one of Zay's videos, man.
You know what? There's one thing about his videos that fills me with so much joy.
What's that?
Every time. It's the Nardo bomb, man.
Oh yeah, the Nardo bomb. Oh yeah. For those of you who are not aware, my guy Chris Ingram, Bluff City Media does.
I love the Nardo bomb.
He has Twitter Spaces, and he debuted his first one on Wednesday. Every Wednesday, he's playing on duties around 6 o'clock, right? Or if Wednesday's not a game day. I don't know. I don't know what the rules of Chris. I know he does it once a week, right?
It's gonna be Wednesdays at 6.
Yeah, Wednesdays at 6, right? So, we started talking about Luke Kennard, right? All the Bluff City Media guys are in there. We're talking in the Spaces, and Kenny. The subject of Luke Kennard comes up. Oh, if you want to hear emotional Kenny stuff,
Listen.
talk about a white shooter.
Nardo bombs, baby.
Yeah, man. But Zay's gonna come on. Zay's videos are great. They're kind of few and far between because he don't make them unless the Grizzlies
He don't
win,
make them
right?
unless, yeah, exactly.
Right. So he may have to kind of add if Gigi has a good game, something
Right.
like that to make some or whatever. But yeah, Zay's gonna come in and join us, man, for that. But before we come to him, man, I'll throw this out to you, Kenny. The Tigers, like, what are they, man? Like, because we've seen so many different versions of this team. Are they closer to what we saw last night? Are they closer to what we've seen the last few weeks with the struggling? Or are they the team that, what are they, man? Like, because like I said, I'm not buying the whole thing of Penny saying we're two different teams.
I don't buy that at all.
We've seen two different teams, but it's the same dudes.
It's the
you
same
know what I mean? So what is this Tiger team to you?
All right, and so this is coming off of a win. So, like, when I say this, I don't say this with negativity in my heart, right? Like I've been accused of this week. Like there's not a negativity. Who the Tigers are is which side of the bed Penny wakes up in the morning. Like, what side of the bed is he? Is he going to wake up on the side of rational college head coach decisions, in terms of rotations, in terms of lineups? Then they're the team you saw last night. If he's going to wake up,
How were the rotations last night? I didn't see any.
Awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. He lineup changes. He started.
He played 3 bigs last night.
Well, listen. He's been talking about wanting to do small ball for a while, and people were like, "Why is he starting Naquan Tomlin? Naquan Tomlin 6'10". Why is he starting Naquan at the 3?" Naquan his game operates better in a small ball scenario where he's able to, operate from the wings in space. That's where he operates. He is not he's a 6'10" kid who doesn't need to be in the paint. He fouls too much. He's not big enough. He's not strong enough. He needs to be, he can guard on the wing. He can dribble off the wing. He can shoot threes. He's very, very good at that. And so that's the biggest, who the Tigers are, is if they play Naquan at the 3 and give him a lot of minutes there, they're going to be a really tough out during the AAC tournament.
Well, we'll see how that goes, man. Going forward, like I said, it was good to see the Tigers get a win and just beat the shit out of somebody.
Just beat the shit out of them.
It's good stuff. Good stuff to see. Even though I didn't see it, I was tearing them back last night, man. So
I watched the whole game and they played well.
Yeah. So that's what's up, man. That's what's up. I'm glad they got that win. Also glad I can bring Zay in because Zay is kind of an anomaly, man. He's one of the there aren't a lot of people in his age group who can really speak well about the Tigers. When I say well, I'm not saying speak good things about them, but can
with knowledge.
With knowledge, yeah. He's a Tiger fan. He's able to speak about the Tigers for sure. So I definitely want to hear a lot of things he has to say, being that he's in that younger age group for sure, man. But like I said, I'm about to get out of the way. I want to get Zay on. Super excited to hear what he has to say about the Grizzlies, about the Tigers. About other things as well, man. His views as a, like I said, up and coming content creator, man. Like I said, he's he brings a very interesting spin to like I said, that content creation really opens up whole new windows of what we've called journalism, because there weren't any YouTube shorts 10 years ago. You know what I mean? So Zay really opens up another door with some of the things that he does. Plus, he can just talk hoop. You know what I mean? He's not just, some goofy kid, recording videos and making stuff go viral. It's this dude, I'm not going to name no names, but we'll talk about it during the break maybe, that it really gets on my nerves that makes content, because I think he's a goofball. But anyway, Zay is coming. He's one of the best in the city. My guy, Xavier Dotson, going to join us for the Sit Down with Sain. I'm going to get out the way, and my man going to be here for the Sit Down with Sain. We'll see you guys in a minute here on the Anthony Sain Show.
I definitely see
If you
it.
mixed and matched those guys, you'd
I
have,
wonder-
one slow immovable object,
Right. Yeah.
one fast guy who
athletic.
can
Right.
who can switch on the defensive end, has maybe a deeper offensive back.
Right.
But now you're playing.
The 2 and 2.
All right, I'm not calling them fat, but you're playing. You're skinny and fast, fat and slow.
Yeah.
and
Together.
yeah, like separately. Those
Right.
guys are not mixing
The
and
same
matching
skill
at all.
sets are playing
It's
together.
strange. It's Jordan and Malcolm didn't spend a whole bunch of time on the floor together, though.
Hey,
He cannot get up and down the floor
No,
well enough for this
no.
team to be like a game to game,
No,
like
contributor.
consistent contributor. Just the more you see him out there, even when he played in good, meaningful minutes against Tulane, you're
this
that's not something that you can just consistently
Right. This
do.
was never really a fit.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
But like watching him develop into what he was, and I mean, forever will be etched in my mind the night that Dylan and Shannon Sharp and T got into it, and Shannon was talking big in his cardigan until Steve-O walked over there, and all of a sudden Shannon wasn't so big no more.
It's the only time I've ever seen Steven Adams pull his hair out of the bun.
Right, like he was finna throw some hands, and Shannon
Yeah.
Sharp wanted none of that smoke. He
Yeah.
was ducking
That-
all that smoke.
That and Tony Bradley, him carrying a 7-foot Tony
Yes.
Bradley
Just
away
picking
from
him
John
up.
Morant. You know?
I mean,
Yeah.
love me some Steedham Adams for that. But like, Drew, we've hit on second round picks. So if we keep these second round picks, like we've hit on those much better than we have on lottery, not, Tripp and
Yeah.
Ja notwithstanding.
Right.
But we took in picks for this year as well as next year. Also,
2 for
last
24,
night-
1 for 25.
tune in to the $2 Sports Show with Rusty Witten and Drew Gann every Friday at 3 p.m. only on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
I think he can be. This is tough because anything you kind of say about guys like now, like people tend to take, even if it's slightly negative, it's like you insulted one of their own children. And the reality is, I think he can be. I think his best role is probably as a backup wing on a really good team. Like I don't know that he's necessarily a starter, in the NBA on a really good team. He may be. He's a little undersized. I think he plays a little bit bigger than he really is. I want to say initially he came in listed at like 6'6", but I think he's probably closer, really about 6'4", maybe 6'5". In that range. But he plays big because he plays tough. He's pretty athletic, pretty good leaper. The big key for him is going to be to continue to shoot it well. If he continues to shoot it well, there's a place for him in the league, and there's a place for him in the Memphis rotation, because we all know if you're hard-nosed and get after it, they're going to find a way to play you.
Exactly.
If you shoot so much, the better. So
Tune in to the Grizz 901 postgame show, live after every Grizzlies game on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show, y'all. As promised, man, I got my guy, Xavier Dotson. You probably heard his voice before. You probably never seen his face. The brother don't show his face too much. He kind of like on his Chris Smooth type shit when it come down to his content creating. But he's one of the best content creators in the city. Some of the best content you'll find for your Memphis Grizzlies. My guy, Xavier Dotson. What's going on, man?
What's good, Sain?
Better known as Zay in the building. Y'all probably knowing this, my guy, Zay.
Yeah,
Zay time takes, man.
Zay time takes.
Yeah, y'all know him. Zay, you make a video after every Grizzlies win. And they've been so much more precious this year because the wins have been so far and few between, man. So you've had you put a video out every time, and I wait up for them because they are incredible every time you put one out. And it's usually a YouTube short where you compile highlights, and just your delivery, man, just the way you put your videos together is just incredible. So how did you get started making the videos that you make to celebrate Grizzlies victories?
Yeah, I started originally on TikTok. I was making videos, just NBA-wise content analysis. And then, when eventually I found myself at Bluff City Media, I wanted to, stand out. I was such a big fan of Stuart Scott back in the day.
Yeah.
The way that he used to have his own flavor on ESPN and SportsCenter, telling the game and his booyahs and his own type of spice and flavor. I wanted to do that. So I pay a big entourage and, in a way that Stuart Scott sort of paved the way for me to finally put a flavor into the Grizzlies next gen. Because truth be told, them guys like the same age as I am right now. John Morant, Jaren Jackson.
Yeah.
And so it's exciting watching them to play. And so every time they drop in a win, I'm like, okay, bet, I got y'all. I'm going to turn up with y'all. I'm going to drop a video.
Yeah, they definitely feel like super authentic. Like it feels like you said, you're the same age as those guys. So the videos really feel like is you talking about your peers. And like I said, it's good stuff. And you mentioned Stuart Scott, man, who's a guy who definitely, when I started listing like my guys who I looked up to, he definitely is one of those guys because he made it okay to just be him, man. And he just brought that black flair to it, the hip hop flair to it, inner city flair. And it's just, it's good to see guys like that still making an impression because I'm a bit older than you, So it's good to see that the impression he left is still falling down on you. So just talking about the game itself, what are some of the highlights that you can pull from the season? We know about Gigi, we know about Vince Wiliams, things like that. Going forward, what are some of the highlights you can pull out from the season, or even things that have already happened that you can look at as being good things in what's been a bad season so far?
Obviously, expectations has fallen short than how everybody thought at the beginning of the season. But you could still see so much positivity on the bright side. Jaren Jackson has increased his production majorly as a full-time leader, as well, being a capable first scorer for the Grizzlies team, as well. Desmond Bain, earlier this season, before he got injured, he showed a glimpse of him being a 3-level scorer, basically a borderline all-star player. Gigi Jackson, Vince Wiliams, man, them the diamonds in the rough right now, man. Second round draft picks, had to get it out the mud, playing for the hustle. And now we, with probably less than 30 games left with the regular season, you see who we acquired from the trade deadline. Lance Stevenson, Mar Stevens, and the guy on the 10-day Goodwin. We trying to see what they can do. Maybe everybody talking about with the Zaire, everybody basically hitting them with the Toy Story treatment, like, Andy, I'm done playing with you. Right. Like, man, we don't want to see much from Zaire. But Zaire had had an optimistic game the last game with the Bucks. So hopefully we could salvage some of these guys that, basically we're tired of sort of looking at them. They done had a little run longer than a lot of the younger players. See what they could pull with. But I'm really happy in a way that we saw growth from Desmond Bain and Jaren Jackson this year.
Well, you talked about Zaire Williams, and he had a good game, 27 points, his career high against the Milwaukee Bucks. And we've seen games where Zaire has been absolutely terrible. What do you think Zaire is? Is he a guy who you think that maybe in a couple more years he could kind of balance himself out to be a steady rotation player for us or someone else, or do you think he's a guy that's just not an NBA player?
Obviously, we see flashes and his inconsistencies into his game. Truth be told, I had high hopes and dreams that he was going to be the starting wing for our team, but I feel like I done scaled back big time. He most likely is going to be a rotational piece, probably coming off the bench. Teams still can see the optimistic and the potential in him. The kid got a lot of length. He's still pretty young, relatively young. He's spry with energy when he wants to. I could see him especially being a backup wing for a team, especially a contending team in a way that they can utilize to see, okay, maybe we can see what we can bring out of him. You see where David Roddy just went to with the Suns. I feel like the Suns probably going to utilize Roddy in a lot better manner compared to the Grizzlies because they've contended for a championship right now. Roddy, he's such a unique figure in a way that he can utilize his body in such a great manner. Zaire, I think he needs to be in a win now situation to really broadcast his whole skill set in a way so he can go ahead and flourish in an environment.
So we're going to play GM for a minute, right? Because everyone's talking about what do you do with the first round pick, right? Yeah. This pick could be anywhere from top 4. We could get bumped up to the top 4, or it could fall anywhere to where it's probably naturally going to fall between 6 and 10, somewhere in that range, 6 and 8, 6 and 10 at the worst. Let's say that you don't move up, right? You just get your pick, which would be somewhere between 6 and 10 more than likely. What do you do with that pick on draft night? If the lottery passes and we're picking somewhere where we're supposed to pick, how do you handle the rest of the offseason?
Man, obviously Grizzlies Twitter and X go and debate about this all the time.
And I've taken every side of it. Like of the 4 options you have, I've sat in each option and like, I think this is what I want to do. I get all of them. So where are you at?
It's a challenging decision. Obviously, this draft isn't just hit with the haymakers of superstar talent right away. Plug in, they're gonna get you 15, be a star right away. I don't see that happening with these players. The Grizzlies right now in a dire, I wouldn't say a dire win now situation, but they want to win. They at least want to hit the second round next year. None of these players, especially 1 through 10 that's coming out the draft, I don't see them making a significant change for the Grizzlies. I feel like they should trade the pick, regardless if it is a bottom 10 pick or is it a top 5 pick. That's my opinion. I feel like that there's a available big that you can get in free agency or, you could trade with another team. But in terms of if it is 6 through 10, I don't see anyone that's just a feasible big or wing. A lot of people talk about Rob Dillingham. There's no point of going small again. We have that struggle right now of trying to be small, and then eventually he's going to want more minutes down the line. Who we going to call for minutes for? I just feel like that they best off trading that pick, man. I feel like it is I don't know. I feel like it's a trap pick because it is a dilemma because you got to make these tough decisions. And Kleiman, I feel like he the guy fit for the job for that.
Yeah. I understand that logic totally, right? I have a different opinion, but my opinion is based off of I know these folks, bro. You know what I mean? Like this front office they are creatures of habit, like no other front office, right? It is there's certain things I just can't see these guys being gifted with a top 10 pick, a contract that you know is going to be 4 years on a reasonable deal.
You proving a point
for a young talent. Like there's no way they're not going to step into the podium and get a chance to redeem themselves. They got so much criticism for Zaire, right? And Roddy, LaRavia, those type of guys. Even though you hit on Gigi, you hit on Vince Wiliams.
Those second rounders,
right? That's what I'm saying. That's to my point. This is our chance to say, hey, this draft, y'all talk about getting no talent in it. We're going to find the talent in that top 10, and we're going to go step to the podium and get our guy. I just feel like that's their logic, man, because there's so many other ways that they can get a center that don't even have to involve that pick at all. Yeah. I just can't see them not adding a possible really good good young, cheap rotation piece, especially considering the contract situation. I see it both ways. I totally agree because I be on my F them kids shit too. I be on it. You know I be on it. You know what I mean?
I know.
So it's like I get that side too. I just kind of feel like with this front office, man, the redemption angle, that like just that cheap contract they can have for a good player. I can't see them not coming out of that draft for somebody. But I get it though.
Yeah, I understand the business side of things. Obviously, we tied with money a situation with Ja Morant, Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson coming up with a contract extension. So you look into these younger players coming into the draft, you can find them with a steal like the Gigi Jackson and the Vince Wiliams. Man, we paying them under $20 million for 4 years for a collective of both of them. Well, which is a straight finesse.
Right.
So I honestly believe that like
was that Kleiman been in Memphis too long?
Kleiman been in Memphis too long on me. Yeah, but the way that you just put it, I can see that perspective.
Hey, tell Gigi we ain't got it, man. Hey.
GG though, man.
GG, come on, man. I got you on the back end, bro.
Yeah. Hopefully, was FedEx owner hit him up.
Right,
hit him
on the
with
side deal.
Yeah, I know. But man, I think Kleiman, like the way that you put it, in a way, he could come up with a finesse deal, man.
I think the no-name shoes GG wearing, I think them the Kleimans.
He sure do be rocking some no-name
real
shoes,
momos, man. Hey, I ain't gonna lie, man. They gotta get my boy straight, man. I can't. Cause I think GG has star potential, like being for real. Bro.
Hey, yeah, I feel like some shoe deal gonna come into play.
Yeah.
If John Conchar can get a deal, bro,
right.
GG Jackson can get a deal.
Yeah,
right?
don't hate on my John Conchar guy, man.
Hey, bro. Hey, you know Kenny been in his feelings, man. If y'all checked out the group chat spaces, my guy Chris Ingram hosted. The first one was yesterday. Well, Wednesday. On Twitter or X or whatever. And Kenny was just getting super emotional in that joint, man. They started talking about
Luke Kennard, man.
They started talking about white shooters, man.
I need white shooters, man.
And Kenny was just, how do you train shooting?
I live vicariously through them, Anthony.
Yeah, like most white people that fan base do, man. Y'all do live through Luke Kennard, man. Hey. But nah, man. But back to GG Jackson, man, who I think has, like, you can just see certain guys and just tell, like, that particular guy has the it factor. You know what I mean? Like, he's kind of got the media by his strings. You can tell that he's a guy that once he really gets out there, the media is going to eat him up, right? He's still got, like, not immaturity, but it's like a kind of a boyish charm about himself. You know what I mean?
19.
Like, we've seen a lot of 19-year-olds come through the league. Like, GG is almost like, you ever seen those movies like, when they do like you will switch people. Like, you'll be an adult for a day, but you're not really a kid. You're really a kid. He's kind of like that. It's almost like you put a 12-year-old in a 30-year-old man's body, and now he's an NBA player. It's like those type of movies that came out. Yeah. It's almost like that because it's like he'll give you the most honest answers, and he would be like, you know, back in the day. Well, it really wasn't back in the day. It was like a couple years ago. You know what I mean?
I know.
But it's like
back in the day.
Yeah, we've had a lot of 19-years come through. But he literally is like a huge 6'9" kid in the league. And he's just got it's just certain things about him, man. And Kenny talked about this on the space the other day, how it's like, I want to hold back and say, I'm trying to find little things about this game that are like, well, no, I don't think he'll be able to do this because of this. Then you look at him, if you just step back from him, you're like, no, dude, that dude is 6'9", 19 years old, can literally score any way he wants to on the court. Like, that's a star, man. That's a star in the making. And I don't see anything that's going to come in between that on him. Where do you see GG Jackson being on this team in the next maybe, let's say, 2 or 3 years?
Man, it's really hard to put an establishment on him. Obviously, he's become a like you said, a star blossoming in the making. I do see him eventually being the starting small forward, but as well, I'm trying to figure out what situation, how I'm an X's and O's type guy. I love trying to describe and see where he's going to fit on the floor with around different players. I'm trying to figure out how's he going to be around Ja Morant, Desmond Bane, and Jaren Jackson because they got to get their shots. And GG Jackson, he's such a talented player. He could spot up and shoot like an MPJ. He can dribble the ball and create his own shot like a Paul George. I know Parker he was on TNT the other night talking about saying,
Parker.
He said GG Jackson is a mixture of Paul George and somebody else.
Jason Tatum when he plays on TNT.
Yeah, Charles said, hold on, Parker, hold on. But I honestly trying to figure out, I want him to gain some weight. He's only 19. Obviously, that's going to happen.
His body looks like it can hold weight, though.
Yeah,
he ain't made up like Zaire.
Yeah. And I made an analysis video of him, like, initially when we got drafted.
And it's going crazy since then.
I hit that jump right on the money talking about, like, what his outcome can be. Obviously, he's still really young into his potential. But he has the potential to be a great defensive player. Dude got a long wingspan. He's already showing aggressiveness on the defensive end. Offensively, you know, I feel like he could be practically the best Grizzly small forward in history. You think about how many small forwards that's made an impact on the Grizzlies.
He ain't got a ton of competition, just be honest. He ain't really got to do much to pass everybody. You know what I mean?
The best one is Rudy Gay. And Rudy Gay was just only here for such a glimpse.
Yeah, he left on a, like, what people saying, get him out of here type stuff.
Yeah. So he could really establish and make a mark, right, of being the greatest Grizzly small forward of all time. Yeah. And he's only 19.
He could do that by the time he's 21.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm just still trying to picture how will he be involved in the starting five.
Yeah.
And I feel like you got to find a way to get him shots. When John Moran isn't on the floor, this is a guy that you can have get the ball, okay, pow, get to his spot, pull up mid-range or get to the rack. And Taylor Jenkins got to come up with some creativities, plays and scenarios to maximize GG, because this is his kid. He like a Mustang out there, man. He just really want to get minutes and be out there on the floor. So I'm really ready to see these last 30 games. Maybe Desmond Bane and Marcus Smart can come back, and I can see how he's going to be involved around them too. Yeah. And then this man just got a mentality that I'm a dog, I'm a killer. It don't matter who I match up against each night. I'm gonna try to drop 30.
There's been a lot of talk about how do you deal with the center position, right? So I'm gonna kind of flip the question to you in a different way. Instead of saying how do you address the center position, I'll ask you, describe the attributes of the perfect player to put beside Jaren Jackson Jr., whether that's at the 5 or the 4. Because I really could see a situation where the Grizzlies bring in someone, they might be shorter than Jaren, but takes care of all of the stuff that center position needs, even though they might not be the center. Because I think the Grizzlies kind of showed their hand. I think Draymond coming out and saying the Grizzlies almost signed him last summer makes me think the Grizzlies may not be looking for a center. I think they are. I think they're 90% looking for a center, but I can't rule out that they may be looking for a 4. Yeah, that can kind of still take that weight off of Jaren. So with that being said, describe the attributes or the style of play for the guy you would put beside Jaren, and possibly who that guy might be in your eyes.
Like I said, I'm a big X's and O's type guy. When Steven Adams was so great that a lot of people always talk about the screen setting. That was a big attribute of his, but Steven Adams, when he was here, he had career highs in assists. The way that he was able to do the handoffs, the way he made an establishment with Desmond Bane with those handoffs and Bane coming off the curls and making those jump shots. You talk about Draymond Green.
Which makes that way more sense.
He is such a phenomenal offensive IQ player, man, because he is sort of in a way another point guard. And Taylor Jenkins relied so heavily on Steven Adams, sort of basically being a secondary, tertiary playmaker on the court in a way, because he took up so much space due to the fact he's such a big frame, and then as well he started to understand the game in a different way to dish out the ball. I see if the Grizzlies are going to utilize a center, I feel like they got to find a guy who has that high offensive IQ to know how to do the correct handoffs and play, because the NBA has shaped so differently. It's shaped so much. It's a lot of pick and roll and the handoffs. The handoffs is sort of the bread and butter in the NBA right now. A guy, you talk about like who we should fit in and whatnot. One guy who's sort of similar and who has high IQ in a way like that is Isaiah Hartenstein. If you've ever watched his game.
Yeah, he's 1A on my list right now. I ain't gonna lie. He's 1A.
I feel like he'll fit perfectly in the Grizzly systems, because bro knows how to understand to put the ball in a great situation around the free throw line and work a system in which he can move the ball around, because him and Jalen Brunson, they got a nice connection. Obviously, Mitchell Robinson is out right now, so Hartenstein has elevated in minutes. Them two got a nice dynamic duo. Desmond Bane and Steven Adams, man, if you really go back and look at those stats, they were cooking together. Isaiah Hartenstein as well, he sort of got an offensive game. He got a floater. I don't know if y'all remember that dude, Costa Koufis, back in the day, bro, with his little ugly, wonky floater. Isaiah Hartenstein, he got a better floater. All right, it's a lot more smoother. But I think they got to find somebody that's more polished. You know, big frame for one, and then as well, like, they're going to be dynamic with giving the ball off with the handoffs.
And he can get rebounds like crazy.
Rebounds, as well.
And it's something about having a white-black dude on the team that's always...
Hey.
I cheer for Hartenstein, man.
You got to cheer for Hartenstein.
I was going to say... I don't know who the barbers up there in New York, bro. Hartenstein and Denver Chinzo, bro. You know they going to black barbers, bro. They be the top 2 chop white boys in the league, man.
Yeah, bro. Hartenstein, we had Daniel Grill, right? Yeah. It's a clip that I don't know if it went viral or not, but it should have, because when the look on Daniel Grill's face when he found out he lost a white guy to cheer for, man. When he found out that Hartenstein was black, man, the man's face turned to a ghost. Man.
He lost about 20% of his fans in that, right, man. Like, hey, did he pay you your money yet?
For what?
He owes you money
Oh,
for
he
that.
does
bill.
owe me for that. Yeah, he got to drop that off, man.
Dang.
Yeah, Greg got to drop that off, man, for sure. But yeah, I've got Hartenstein 1A for sure, man. Because I can see a situation where, like, Mitchell Robinson's good. He comes back, and Mitchell Robinson's good. We know he's good, right? And he's like, man, I don't even want to be in a place where it's even in question. I want to know I'm gonna be a starter. I want to know I'm in a place where I can get paid. Let's work out a sign and trade. And if you know how the NBA works, man, that may already have had that discussion may have already happened. You know what I mean? Like, agents talk to teams all the time. I could definitely see a situation where Hartenstein may have already got with us, like, hey, I see what y'all got going on down there.
Future, everything lining up perfectly.
Yeah, exactly. So he's 1A to me for sure. Claxton is probably 1B, but your Hartenstein just feels like, and maybe because of, I remember Zach Randolph being the guy that used to bully us all the time, right? And maybe the way I've seen Hartenstein getting 40 rebounds damn near in a game that has me thinking.
Numbers
Exactly, bro. Yeah, for sure. So I would love to get Hartenstein here, get that man around some of the best barbers in the country. I can just imagine the levels that the fade can go to here in Memphis.
It ain't called the Kelsey, man.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So Hartenstein's my guy. You talked earlier about how you're the same age as the young core here with the Grizzlies, right? So what's your opinion on the Grizzlies as far as capturing the culture of the city or just your generation? What I mean by that is, I remember when Chris was talking about, he was talking about how like the energy felt dead. Like this didn't feel like the Grizzlies no more. There's a lot of people say, okay, this don't feel like, even though we're losing, looking past the losing, it just don't feel like the Grizzlies. It kind of feels like it's back now from seeing Ja on the sideline and Bane and everybody, doing the thing on the sideline. What's your gauge on whether do they feel like the fun Grizzlies again to you is basically what I'm trying to say.
Obviously, when losing always is going to be a bad feeling regardless. The energy isn't going to be high. We didn't know what to expect at the beginning of the season because we all had high expectations. And then when we started losing and injuries started piling up on us and we got a multiple 10 days, 10 ways, 2 ways, you got so many people that ain't never been here and has never really embodied the culture of Memphis. So that was a big reason why things weren't feeling the way it was the past few seasons when we were having the success. And, we got the dance. We got ESPN pulling up on us and talking about us. But, man, you talk as far as, the core guys, Ja, Bane, Jaren, man, they've embodied the culture of Memphis big time. Jaren Jackson, he got his own Wing Guru sauce, bro.
Rapid dropping albums.
Yeah. Desmond Bane, bro, he pulled up. He would probably be hitting up Nike all the time. I ain't never seen him without he got all types of colors of the Nike sweatsuits.
Yeah.
John Morant as well. John Morant, I know you be talking about his shoes with the Nike employee badge, bro.
Yeah, that is the dopest thing I've seen in a long ass time, bro. Because it's a lot of people who are not in Memphis may not get it, but so many people in Memphis either work for Nike or they got a swoosh account.
You got a plug,
right?
yeah.
Exactly. And so for John to drop a shoe with him with the Nike employee badge, that badge you done seen somewhere, it's crazy.
See, that's like a hint replicated to Memphis.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they obviously understand the culture here.
Or you got some shoes off the train.
There you go. Folks don't want to talk about that, man. You hot in the streets if you get them junks, bro. But yeah, obviously though, the core embodies it. Like I said, the winning and then knowing now that we have a future with this team, with the younger guys like Vince Wiliams and Gigi Jackson, especially that we got another killer mentality of Vince Wiliams. Memphis is such a hard-working city that we love a grit and grinder. So going back to the early days with Tony Allen, and now we had Dylan Brooks the previous years. Now we got Vince Wiliams, bro. Vince, you call
and we
that
got Marcus Smart, who we ain't seen.
Smart, yeah, Smart.
Not seen enough of. Yeah,
bro,
go ahead. I'm sorry,
bro. You even gave Vince the name Boogeyman.
Well, that was Melvin Purdy.
Yeah.
I just sold the shirt. Shout out to Melvin Purdy. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Shout out to Melvin Purdy. But we always love the guys that's going to bring the high energy, especially on the defensive end, because when you step inside the FedEx Forum, we want to beat you up mentally and physically. And when we do that, guess what? The FedEx Forum going to be rocking. obviously the players gonna be feeling how the city is supporting them, and they really gonna basically embody the whole city and culture. And man, you got Bag, Glorilla, all these other Memphis rappers and artists. They down courtside. When you go to the FedEx Forum, the intro track gonna be one of the Memphis rappers on there, bro. Like they understand that they be vibing out to the city, like the whole city culture and the music and everything. Yeah.
So switching over to the Tigers, man, we saw them get a big win over Charlotte the other night.
Finally, bro.
Right, and I know I was talking to Kenny about it because I was like, man, something like when Tiger fans were really mad at me, right? One of the things I was really standing on was there's a generation of people in the city of Memphis who are not connected to the Tigers, and that scares the shit out of me. Like I was like, most people in that like 15 to 25 age bracket are not Tiger fans, unless it's like their grandfather then or grandmother then with Mildred and them, right? So it's like if unless you were a kid who were going to the games with your grandparents or parents or whatever, there are not many people who have that natural connection to the team. And I see you, who's a total anomaly, you totally throw it out the window because you can talk Tigers like. It's kind of strange watching somebody in your age group who can talk about the Tigers like you do.
I basically sort of did my research about them, and I did grow up watching them. I basically remember my first season watching them was the Derrick Rose years. But as a person, I didn't even go to U of M for my main school. I went to Chattanooga. I did like one semester at U of M. But I can see exactly what you mean, though, like as far as people, my generation, they don't understand the total switch of the Tigers, of how high and how people of the older generation, they keep the Tigers up to a high, and they don't even typically care about the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies up down here, the Tigers up there. And obviously, I thought, and a lot of people thought this, that since Penny become the coach, that was going to shift the culture around, which it has. But this year, the season, in a way, how it's sort of shifted with the high expectations and things that sort of turning down south.
Right.
I can see so many people of my generation and age, they not tuned in and interested because, I mean, y'all talk about the Tigers of how they was in the past, but truth be told, what have they done since the Derrick Rose?
And that pass is getting farther and farther away.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, but I asked you that to set this up, though. So, like, what do you think can be done different to gain more people in? Because the thing about you is you're an inspiring journalist, right?
Yeah.
So like you said, I did my homework. I know I have to get an understanding of this because I know it's a big fingerprint of the city, right?
Yeah.
So I know you did your own homework.
Yeah.
What do you think that program needs to do going forward? I'm not talking about I'm not talking about wins and losses. What do you think they need to do to gain more people in your age group? Because I know I ain't gonna lie, they made some gains this year. They did the student only Memphis Madness, which I thought was dope as hell. Yeah. They done a couple other cool things throughout the season to try to get more students involved. I think they brought back the busing, kids shuttling kids from the campus to the arena, whatever. What do you see that can do going forward?
I mean, it is hard for a team to play in the FedEx, from a college team to play in the NBA stadium arena. Everybody has basically had their own statement saying that they need to have a basketball facility basically near campus or on campus. That will help major because most of these students, freshmen and sophomores, they don't have vehicles. Yeah. And they're missing out on crucial in those key games because if you think about it, a lot of them kids, bro, they be crunched down, okay, should I study? Should I go to the game? If I got to go to the game, I got to catch the shuttle. That's going to be I got to wait at the shuttle for 15 minutes. Then the shuttle going to be 30 minutes because the shuttle drives slow and whatnot. And then you go to the game. You got to wait for the shuttle and everything.
You got to wait for everybody to get back on the shuttle, count heads and all this shit.
Exactly. Instead of, if the campus, if they right there, if the stadium right there on campus, you just walk right across the street and then boom, pow, you can walk back. That's a big way. And then I still feel like.
Well, that's probably not happening. But that's not
happening. I know that happening.
So how can they maximize being in the FedEx Forum, in your opinion? Because we talked about this off the air. You was like, well, I went to a couple Tiger games this year, and it feels totally different than the Grizzlies game.
It is.
But I can't really say why, though. You know what I mean? Like, I literally can't put a finger on what's different about it.
I'll be honest. It's all, truth be told, it's an older environment there. And the older environment that you have, I feel like that they're still stuck on their ways of how the Tigers should play and how the Tiger game should feel from back in the 90s or early 2000s, and when we got a whole new generation.
Oh, come on
and
back to the
swag.
80s. You can go on back to the 80s.
And 80s, yeah.
But go ahead. It's okay to say the 80s. Yeah.
He said the 90s.
All
Like
right, man,
like
you feel old. Like you
he's
better go to the
saying
80s.
something. Yeah.
You better go back to the 80s or something. Maybe that feel is old. All right, but go ahead.
But it's
So they would go back to 2010 shit. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
But shoot, like it's not up to par of how modern basketball should be of embodying it. My sister, she goes to Georgia Tech, and I went last year. They had like siblings weekend, and we went to a game, a Georgia Tech game.
Siblings weekend. That sounds like a dope idea.
That's another idea that you can, you could do. And they had a good DJ. They had, the good music and vibes was jumping there.
It felt like you was in Atlanta, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But in terms of here at that game, I've only been to one Tigers game my whole entire life. The one game that I went, they did get the win. That was when they was on their 10-game winning streak. It still just felt, I don't know, in a way, dull compared to the Grizzlies games. Man, I don't know, like the fan culture. I feel like it's the fan culture of it being just such an older age, a bigger gap of the top-notch fans being an older age compared to people my age. It's just a whole brand different environment.
Yeah. I think a big part of it too is that those seats on the bottom are way harder to get than at a Grizzlies game.
Yeah.
And I think Kenny, you might know better than me. Like you can't like go in and just buy those tickets at the bottom, right?
I don't know the percentage, but a lot of those are corporate seats.
Or people who've made major donations to the school, right?
Right, which is a lot of times coming from corporations, and so they have seats that are just available for them.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's got a lot to do with it. But like I said, the Tigers just got a big win of the night against Charlotte. The big one, FAU's in town this weekend. The rest of the season, does it look like the Charlotte game and the 10-game win streak and beating all these top 25 teams and the quad one victories and all that type of stuff? Or does it look like the team we saw over the last few weeks? Like, how does the season end for the Tigers in your opinion?
It felt good for I was about to say the Grizzlies, but the Tigers to finally smack a opponent in the face and get a nice stomping win. Penny put a spark into them boys. Like, hey, man, if y'all ain't here to play, just go ahead and sit y'all ass down for the rest of the season.
Right.
That's true.
Come sit by me, man.
Yeah, man. You got to real deal pull out the Memphis out of them. Out of you, bro. And let them know. But I liked what I saw from them, especially with the lineup change. They put Tomlin at the 3. I was seeing what Penny was having to do was to identify his strengths and weakness. Right now, their strengths is they have length in terms of they got multiple bigs. Tomlin is versatile. He can guard the guards around the perimeter. He's longer as well. He can dribble the ball.
Right.
So a big weakness right now with the Tigers was containing the 3-point defense because they be getting killed behind the 3-point line,
right.
man. That North Texas game made me so mad the other day. But you put Tomlin at the 3, right? He's able to be mobile. He has the length. If you want to protect the paint, in which that's what Penny wants to do the most. He wants to protect the paint. If you're going to get beat, at least Tomlin, he's able to run out there and contest the shot a lot deeper and whatnot because he has such a longer wingspan. And I just want to see with this FAU game Sunday, can they really push FAU to play them at their pace, at their style? Because it's so many times this season that the Tigers has to play at the other team's pace and style because they're playing comeback or shoot themselves in the feet and whatnot. They have to put down the smacking right away against FAU because FAU, obviously, they beat us in the tournament last year, but they feel like, hey, we the best team in the conference now. The Tigers don't mean shit to us no more.
Yeah, I definitely agree, man. They have to. It starts with defense. Like that's how you control the pace of the game.
Exactly.
If you're, that's been one of Penny's things. He's has such great defensive teams, but this year it feels like they've been all over the place. Sometimes they've been able to lock down some of the best teams in the country, and some nights you're struggling with Ridgeway. So I mean, it's just one of those things for the Tigers, man. It's gonna be a fun ride to see how the whole thing plays out, man. When I say fun, I mean wild or interesting, which has been the case with a lot of stuff. Well, this is my guy, man. They call him Zay Time Takes on Twitter, just in case y'all didn't know, man. Y'all probably seen his videos. The man is cold, man. The man can talk about anything to come down to hoops, man. One of the great young content creators in the city, my guy Xavier Dotson, man. We're about to take a break. When we come back, we're about to do the three-pointer here on the Anthony Sain Show. See y'all in a minute.
So we've kind of talked about the lack of a culture. The lack of culture that this team seems to have. Like, there's not a true identity to them. And I'm just curious, how hard is that to have a culture when you only have Malcolm and Jaden back from last year? So you're not really retaining much. So it seems like
I think you can still have a culture that you're instilling from day one that they're here. I mean, he said it himself, like he'd been going easier and letting things slide that he normally wouldn't. Like, why are you doing that? Are you doing that because these guys are older and you think that they can get away with it and still win game? Like, why?
Yeah.
So I think the portal definitely plays a role, and he's got to establish and hold everybody to the same standard, no matter who it is. If it's a fifth-year senior or if it's a freshman that's walking in the door, like, you got to treat everybody the same way in the program and hold all of them to the same standard. And I don't think that happens.
Yeah.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Zaire and Jake is definitely a hard sell. But what happens here is the Pistons, who have no intention of winning games, clearly, I don't know, have they won their third yet? I'm sure they have. They are not in a position to compete, so they're just going to build up assets. And so what you do is you attach picks to that, and then you send it over, and then they see if maybe they can get something out of Zaire or Jake, whoever they might take. But the real return for them is the picks, right? Just like when we traded for Iguodala, the return was for picks. We didn't want Iguodala. He clearly didn't want us. So we just got picks out of it. It'd be the same thing for a Detroit or for another team in that scenario. So Grizzlies get off of the contracts. Then the Pistons, in this situation is what's been rumored, get some assets out of it. And then potentially you get a reclamation project that actually works out, which does happen every once in a while. Lauri Markkanen, once upon a time, was a very disappointing draft pick. Not very disappointing, but disappointing, at least a little bit.
Tune in to the Grizz 901 postgame show, live after every Grizzlies game on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
There are good coaches that have a system that they want to run. And they'll take these pieces of personnel and they'll make that personnel conform to their system. Great coaches, of course, are the ones that go get the personnel. They pick out these guys that they like, and then they'll take that personnel and they'll say, hey, you do this well, you do this well. We're going to change some things up. Right. We're going to fit this system to you.
Adaptability.
I keep watching this with Penny, and he wants this defensive culture and the thought process behind it to just sort of be his defensive system. And this year has been very telling to me that he has no adjustment off that.
Yeah.
You have to be moldable. You have to be able to change with the times and the talent and the personnel that's given to you. And I don't see that from Penny, man.
Yeah.
I just don't see it.
Yeah.
He wants it to be one way, his way.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all, welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Shout out to my man, Xavier Dotson, man. Just a great content creator, like I said. The man can talk hoop too, Kenny, for sure. Y'all really ain't really seen my boy really get down like
he kind of flexed a little bit.
Oh yeah, man. He's really good at what he does, man. He's one of those dudes. And when he said that Stuart Scott was one of his guys, I was like, dope. Shit, that makes sense, man. Like, that definitely makes sense when you see his style, for sure. Shout out to my boy Xavier Dotson. Gotta get him in that rotation, man. Gotta get him. Hey, You need to get him on there with Roman Cleary in there, man.
Let's go, man.
Go easy on Roman, man. I call Kid all the time. Hey, next somebody come at Roman in the chat, I'm gonna be on the ass, man. Sure.
Roman's my guy.
Roman, my guy, man. Doing the show from the closet somewhere. I'm just waiting for the day when Roman does a show with like his mama or something, just start yelling. Roman, what are you doing, Roman?
I love Roman.
Hope that man mama don't sound like that, though.
No, she don't sound like that.
Shout out to my man, Roman Cleary, man. Another dude who's doing some major work covering Tiger basketball for sure. But it's a three-pointer, man. We talk about three things that are going on in the world of sports. Me and Kenny sit down, we do this all the time. We're going to do an update, first of all, man. A couple weeks ago, probably last week, we talked about a highly anticipated video game, Kenny. NCAA Football is coming back to the video game platforms, man. I think 2025 is the name of the game, but it'll come out this year, right? That game's coming out this calendar year, right?
Yeah.
There were things about it that weren't adding up, Kenny, that I was saying, okay, that's not making any sense, you know what I mean? So the whole thing was the whole NIL thing,
right,
and the players being in the game.
Like, how do you get the players in the game?
Right. And back in the day, man, back in the day when those games came out, it would come out and it'd just be generic. It would have all the real numbers of the players. If the quarterback was black with black hair, he would be black with black hair. If he was blonde with blonde hair, he might have. If he was white with blonde hair, he might have blonde hair, might have brown hair. But basically, the numbers were right. You would go in, the guy's stats were right, the height, weight,
the skill
all
level,
right. The guy played like the real dude, but he didn't have his name right. So you could go in, and these guys would get in, and they would be like a crew, right? They'll say, okay, you do the ACC, I'll do the SEC, you do the Big 12. And in a couple of days, this game that just came out would have the full rosters, right? You'll be able to go online and download the full rosters for these games, right? And that was one of the most awesome things, how you could go in. And then some teams, schools the game may only have a certain level of guys. Like the guys would put a certain level of guys on there. And then, but for Memphis, you could go on and put literally every dude is on the roster, right?
Yeah.
You would just kind of really funk it out with the guys for sure, as far as customizing your rosters. And that was one of the dopest things about that game is that online community would make that game be the exact replica of college football, right?
Yeah.
So when they brought it back, there was speculation about how that was going to work, right? As far as with the player likenesses. And what they did is the exact thing I feared. I speculated this
100%.
And people were saying, I don't think this is how it's going to work. The player's going to get $1,000 to do it. I said, all right, wait, not so fast. Me personally, if I'm any type of good college player, you're giving me more than $1,000 to do this thing, right? So it comes out today, kind of more official news. I'm not sure this came from EA Sports or not, but the latest update is saying that the players are getting $600. Why 6 and not 5? Or I don't know why 6 is the number, but they get $600 and a copy of the game, Kenny, is what they get. And I'm like, hell no, bro. Like, if I'm any kind of good player, if I'm Joey Magnifico, I'm not taking $600.
If you're Caleb Williams from
exactly,
USC.
man. I'm not. No, not even him. If I'm anywhere close to good, you're not going to make millions of dollars off this game, and I'm making $600 and a free copy of the game. That's always been the way I thought about it. But I do understand this. There will be a lot of players who are excited and do want to see themselves in the game. But I don't know. I still don't have the answer if their faces are going to be in there. Like, is it going to look like that dude? That seems like a lot of face scanning. I think the face is going to be generic. I don't think the face is going to be accurate at all. There's no way the face is going to be accurate. That's a lot of scanning. Unless the guys are uploading, like EA Sports may say, hey,
to the team, upload
10 pictures of yourself. You know what I mean?
Right.
Something like that. And they could kind of make this cyber face or whatever. But I can see that. But a big caveat in the whole thing is what I was concerned about. Because I was like, okay, because people were saying, well, even if the players don't agree to be in the game or take the $600 to be in the game, you could always go in and just, put your own guys in there. That you aren't able to do that. You can't go in and edit the players and make your own dude.
Yep.
I don't know if you could create your own dude on the game and fill up a roster with that many guys. I don't know, man. Like that kind of makes the game feel like it might suck.
Does that change the game? It changes
the game to me a lot.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a college football guy. But when I was, the closest thing I was to being a college football guy is when that game was hot and I was playing with the real rosters and I was playing with real teams and I could kind of know who guys were and I knew who the good teams were because they were good on the game. You know what I mean? So that's always been the case, whether it's FIFA, Tiger Woods, golf, all those type of things have made those baseball games have always made the game more accessible, make the game more understandable to people, your common fan or whatever. So to me, that kind of takes a lot of luster off. That only, and I could be absolutely wrong, man. I could look up and see, and it's a 90% turnaround as far as players who that will commit, to make that money or whatever. But it's better than nothing, man. Because I think that game is gonna go crazy. It's probably gonna outsell Madden. That's probably gonna be the biggest selling sports game. Period. You know what I mean? That game for sure. But like I said, that is the update for the NCAA college football by EA Sports, which is coming out very soon this year.
Yeah, it seems like you weren't the only one that had those questions because they came out with a statement saying it, like very specifically answering those questions.
Yeah.
So
they might have been on my Twitter. They might have been watching Anthony the same shit.
Hey, listen, man, we know they're EA Sports.
EA Sports.
You can also become a sponsor.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, man. You almost got me excited when you said that, man. Hey, we got something for you.
You watch the show, you can come and join us.
They were like, so Anthony, how much is it? Let's start about a cool million a year. About a cool million. What you think?
A cool million a year.
Right. And our prices are a lot less than that.
They're not a million.
They can be if you want.
So, hey, if you're a local person, it's not a million. We're
not
joking
a million.
around.
Hey.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, we can get you around. What's a million pennies? Now, it ain't got to be a million pennies.
Not even a million pennies,
hey,
man.
call me. $200. We got you, man. $200.
Call
we got
us,
you.
man.
But yeah, number two, been a lot of discussions about the face of the NBA discussion, right? And it's so. I'm a big fan of the NBA, Kenny.
It's Luke Kennard. No? Oh, man.
A white shooter. Hey, man, we've given y'all two white guys from the motherland, Kenny.
Right.
Two of the best players in the NBA are from the motherland, man. Come on. Like, we've given you two guys, man. So it doesn't have to be a white corner three shooter.
Right. Not Luke.
It didn't have to be Luke Kennard.
I'll change my mind.
Now, if you want a white American player, you probably ought to look, because I don't know who that would be. Maybe this kid, Cooper Kupp, who's got the most white boy great white hope name ever.
Cooper Kupp.
Cooper Kupp. Yeah, it sounds like the great savior of American basketball for sure. I've ever seen one. Next to Larry Bird,
player, right?
Yeah, it sounds like Larry Bird and him.
Cooper Kupp plays football, bro. He plays for the Rams.
Huh?
Yeah, Cooper Kupp is a football player.
Cooper Flag.
No.
Which is even whiter.
Yeah, it's even, that's the
Flag
dude.
with two G's, right?
Yeah, two G's.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
A lot of Coopers out
there.
Yeah,
I had my Coopers wrong.
Yeah.
Cooper Flag sounds even more white.
Don't you disrespect the Coopers,
Don't disrespect the flag.
The flag.
Don't disrespect the flag. He ought to just lean all the way into the patriotism.
American flag tattooed all over his body.
Cooper Flag. Now
he's a patriot, Anthony.
That's a proud boy. Hey, what's a better name? for the face of white American basketball than actual Cooper Flag. Oh man.
Cooper Patriot Flag.
Sponsored by Tacos and Ganas.
Tacos and Ganas.
Oh man, Cooper Flag, shout out. But it's been a face of the NBA discussion, right? And and Shannon Sharp puts in his 2 cents on it, right? And I think John Morant was listed as one of the names, and he said that I don't think it could be a guy like Ja because Ja's not married, right? So I'm like, all right, bro.
And meant for neither are you, bro.
Right, neither are you, man. Like, and I get the point of what he's trying to say. In the past, all of the great players have been married as far as your faces of the league type guys. All right, Kevin Durant is one of the faces of the current NBA. He's not married.
Right.
A lot of these guys, after seeing, and that's more of a product of just kind of, I learned from guys before me, right? A lot of these dudes are just choosing to go to, just gonna screw a lot of women, like because they've seen what getting married at a young age in the NBA happens. They see what that looks like, right? They've seen like awful marriages,
real bad alimony situations,
and all this type of stuff, right? Yeah. So guys, like I think I'm cool on that, man. I think I'll wait till I'm like 45 to go get married.
And another aspect of it is the league is getting younger and younger and younger.
Yeah. And so the guys that you're calling the face of the league
are
getting
21,
younger.
22, 23 years old.
Right.
Like,
and I remember, like, if you watch the Dream Team, the original Dream Team documentary, right, when it was like Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, right, they were talking about a changing of the guard and like finally releasing the league over to Jordan, right? Like Magic and Bird were talking about finally handing it over to Jordan, and they were like 36 and Jordan was like 29,
right?
And already won 2 championships or some shit like that. So I'm like, bro, like, and they're just younger dudes, man. Jason Tatum is still only like 26, 27 years old. Ja, whoever you're talking about, these dudes are young. They're super young dudes. Even like if you're talking Luka or whoever, Giannis, none of these guys are 30 years old, bro. You know what I mean? So, and I'll say this too, that it was a guy like he was saying, man, like, you know, these guys, I don't think nobody's ready to take the reign. Nobody's trying to take the reign from when LeBron leaves. And I'm like, yeah, LeBron is a face of the league, but he's. I think that whole conversation is just dumb because the NBA is the face that you make it. You know what I mean? Like, if you can be a fan of the NBA and don't give a shit about LeBron James or Steph Curry or Kevin Durant. You know what I'm saying? And there are people who, and because of the accessibility of the NBA with League Pass and social media, NBA social media is so much bigger than the other sports, just the social media part, that you can have a connection to a particular team, and that's the only team you give a shit about. Like, and like there's any team that you want to watch, whether it be via NBA League Pass, bootleg streams, or just watching clips on YouTube or on the internet or whatever, or Zay or whatever. Like, you can have a connection to a team, and that can be your face, and you don't even give a shit about the rest of the league. You know what I mean? Because there's even the coverage of it. Like, I don't have to wait for ESPN to show the Grizzlies. Like, because you got guys like Zay who are making Grizzlies highlights,
right,
and they're on YouTube. I don't have to wait for ESPN to, when are they going to cover us tonight? And it's like the whole face of the league argument is just so dumb because people can literally customize the experience the way that they want to. You know what I mean? There are people who think that the Oklahoma City Thunder are the shit, and that's all I care about. And because of the access, you can have that can be a reality for you. You know what I mean? You don't have to have. They don't have to be guys that the league can just sell like that. And there's so many faces of the league, in my opinion, right now.
This conversation feels so like the conversation happened between it was Shannon Sharp, it was JJ Redick, and
JJ Redick looked so annoyed.
He looked so annoyed having those conversations. But like on that show, it's like Stephen A, Mad Dog Russo, Shannon Sharp, are the normal, like kind of the main guys on that show. As our guy Zay said in the second segment, that feels like a very 1990s conversation. Right?
It's just so dumb, man. Like, what do you mean the face of the league? The league's going to go on, man. Like,
do people think the league is not going to be okay when LeBron decides to leave? Like, is that what they're saying?
We're going to watch basketball, bro. Like, we're
going to watch Hoopers hoop, man.
We watched Jordan. I was around for Jordan. Magic and Bird were fading out when I was a little kid, right? They were turning into old men.
Right.
And they were fading out of the picture, right?
83 was the year that Larry, did they win that year? Anyway, I think that was his final year, right? 87.
He played up into Bird was in the league like in 1990.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he played. Yeah. I know he was because he was on Bulls versus Lakers.
Oh, he's on the Dream Team. Yeah, he's on the Dream Team.
He's on the Dream Team too.
Yeah, 92.
But what I'm saying is, the league survived with past those guys, Magic, Bird, and Jordan, right? And it's gonna survive past LeBron, KD, and Steph. Like he'll be fine, bro. There's some hooping ass dudes in the league, man, that people are gonna watch.
This league is gonna be great.
And the league has more, like I said, it's more access. Like, I'm not dependent on TNT. I'm not dependent on ESPN. Like, there's so many ways to get coverage. My kid, Gabe, does not watch NBA games. Like, but he has such a grasp. He can tell you everything that's going on in the NBA and does not watch games at all.
Off of shorts.
It's all social media stuff. He can tell you everything that's going on in the league. And it's all just YouTube. Like, he's got this. He tells me stuff that's going on. I don't even know the crap he's talking about.
Yeah.
Because we were playing NBA 2K one time, and I got Orlando, right? He got the Grizzlies. And he beats me and whatever. And he said, Dad, you know what? That guy that you played with, he's actually good for real. He was talking about help me out, man. The white guy for Orlando.
Franz Wagner.
He was saying, that guy you were talking about, he's better. He's good for real. Because I was somehow for to give my boy Franz, I'm about to go upside your head, Gabe. And he was like, yeah, that guy's good for real. And Gabe ain't watching no games. It's all social media stuff.
You just see social media stuff.
Yeah, so I just think that whole face of the league argument is just such a stupid, dated, old ass argument, bro.
Which is kind of the prime example of what ESPN is at this point.
Yeah,
Stupid and dated.
Yeah, it's just they're like begging for stuff to talk about. And like I said, if just talk about who's ESPN's face is going to be.
That's
like
exactly what it is. That to me is the conversation. It's ESPN saying this is who we're going to.
And that's something y'all need to figure out.
That's what y'all got to figure out.
Leave us out.
Stop making that a conversation that we all need to have.
That needs to be an email and not a meeting. Right. Like, you know what I mean? For sure. It needs to be just a quick email. Because all those conversations is just so disrespectful. These dudes are hooping, bro. Like, these dudes are flat out playing ball and just putting up crazy numbers, man. For example, bro, like, Maxey in Philadelphia. That dude's got like one of the highest selling jerseys in the NBA. Nobody's forcing that kid on us. It's just an organic thing. He's hot in the city that's a big market, and the dude's selling units. You know what I mean? Like Ja Morant selling shoes. Like he don't need ESPN's help to do that. Like it's Johnny to get a wife to sell shoes. No, he's selling shoes, man. Like it's just such a dumb conversation for sure. But yeah, that's the face of the league conversation.
Who do you think they're gonna? I know we need to get off this, but who are they gonna promote? Do you think is the next face of the league?
It's got to be a group project, man. It's a lot of guys. You got Luka, of course. You got Ja. They've got this fear of promoting like a European player or a non-American born player, but that's just kind of what the league is, man.
It's kind of turning that way.
If you throw a dart at the NBA, it's going to either land on a European dude or some biracial dude, more likely, bro.
Right.
So it's just kind of what it is, man. Like it's kind of what the NBA is today. I still think American basketball is king. You got a lot of your top players for sure are of non-American descent. But yeah, you lace it up and you go deep. You go 10 deep and see how long that lasts. You know what I mean? For sure. So I still think American basketball is king. Still think there are a lot of great American-born players in the league. But I just think it'll be a group project, man. So it's even ESPN, I think ESPN realizes it's pretty much a dumb conversation. I think the league will be fine, man. And they're trying to make guys something that they're not expecting Anthony Edwards to say this, super intelligent thing about the All-Star weekend or the future of the league. You're not going to get that from him, man, because he's just a dude who just want to go hoop. You're not going to get that from him. But that dude can hoop his ass off. You know what I mean? I think that's – and like this conversation I had this guy on Twitter. He was like, nobody's saying they want to take the reins and nobody's taking the reins. Like those dudes didn't either. Like LeBron did. Like he knew he had to be that guy. But like KD and Steph, they didn't ask for none of this stuff. Like they just went out there and hooped, and they were the best players in the league, and they got crowned as the best players in the league. Like there wasn't any. I declare myself to be a face of the NBA. Like there was no moment like that for those guys. They just hooped their ass off, and that's always going to be the case. Hoopers are going to hoop, and their guys are going to emerge to be the best players in the league. So, yeah, I think that's all just a bunch of nonsensical talk as far as the face of the NBA conversation is concerned. Number 3, Kenny, the Grizzlies had injury updates that came out today. One left me.
He's back, man.
Oh, yeah, he's back, man. Jake LaRavia.
I'm so happy, man.
Jake LaRavia. Hey, things are just starting to get fun.
I'm ready to see Zay's Nardo Bomb, Jake LaRavia mashup, man.
Oh, man. Is Zay still here? Ask Zay, what would he call a Jake LaRavia shot?
Yeah, what do you call a Jake LaRavia shot?
Tell him to give me a minute. He ain't got to give it to me right now. Whenever he
gonna come up with it.
Did he say so?
He's thinking on it.
I said you got to think about it. All right. Yeah. So yeah, we want to know what that Jake. Well, there ain't gonna be many of those if we banking on that.
He don't have to think too hard. It ain't gonna happen much.
He just really sucks, man. It is crazy. Like I hate the dog on Jake LaRavia, right? But it's like we've seen like the G.G. Jacksons emerge, the Vince Wiliams of the world. Lamar, I forgot this dude's name.
Stevens.
Lamar Stevens. You got guys coming in that can play. You know what I mean?
Apparently Jordan Goodwin. I don't know.
Jordan Goodwin. You know what I mean? Xavier Williams. Had 27 the other night. And you just know, man, we got Roddy ass up out of here. And you just know, man, they're about to just force some heavy.
Never.
Jake LaRavia. They're about to do it,
No
bro.
way, dude.
You know they are.
No way.
They're trying to move that dude, man. They're trying to move his contract. They're going to see heavy Jake LaRavia minutes down the stretch, man. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It just feels like all the air is about to get pulled out of the balloon for sure.
How mad? I'm just picturing Grizzlies Twitter, the Grizzlies Discord at Bluff City Media.
Oh, let that man have anywhere close to G. Let
him
GG get pulled out of the game.
Let them pull Vince one day and sit Vince in the fourth.
Let GG do some cold little Euro with the clean little finish. Then you see Jake LaRavia standing at the
with
scores
with his goggles
scores
on.
table. Oh God, shit, man! I almost dropped the F-bomb. You about to have to do some work tonight to get that up out of there, man. Shit, if I see that dude with them damn goggles, and then he had like the little things on him, right? The little, what's it called? The little tape shit to leave the. You know what I'm talking about? When they be sucking on you and shit.
The suction cups. Whatever they're called.
My God, man. Get this dude out of
Zay
here.
got one for you. He got it.
Come on, Zay. What you got?
Jake from State Farm shot of the day.
I get it. Nah, I'm good, man. Get that dude out of here, man. Good God, Jake LaRavia. Y'all remember like when he first got here? He did that like pandering ass video. He was saying something. And it was like, he was like, yeah, man, yeah. Fool. I was like, man, get this clown ass dude the hell up out of here. You remember that? Like when he first got here, like media day or some shit?
Yeah.
He had like a chain on. Yeah, man. I'm straight, man. I'm straight. I think I'm super straight, actually, on Jake LaRavia. But also, in the Grizzlies injury update news, Coach Taylor Jenkins said, I think he's kind of learning from the error of his ways as well, man. Like, he's like, nah, y'all ain't finna catch me giving no medical analyses of these dudes that have been gone for a while. Basically saying that a formal update will be given on Marcus Smart and Desmond Bain in the coming days. And I'm going to throw this out to you, Kenny. What do you think that means? Like, do you think that means that? Do you think we'll hear that one or both of those guys is getting pushed down? That their injury update status will be pushed down the line? Do you think you'll hear something saying that they'll be cleared to play? Or how do you think that's going to look?
I, as a Grizzlies fan that's looking towards the future,
right?
I would say bring them back as quickly as you can to get them and Vince and Gigi on the court together.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
Because you want to see what next year is going to look like. Even though you don't have Ja, if you have Jaren out there with Dez, with Marcus, with Vince and Gigi, then you've got a real clear view.
That's the hooping, man.
That's the hoopers, right? Like you got a real clear view of what next year is going to look like.
It's going to kind of look like some bootleg Boston Celtics.
But I need to see that. Like we need to see that right now. Like when it doesn't matter, let's get some minutes of research, I guess, so we can figure out, look and see what that looks like.
Because I really want to see.
You got me really freaked out over here though about this Jake LaRavia stuff. Like
that dude's gonna play, man.
I honestly, when I saw the stuff today, I was like, he's just gonna be buried at the bottom of the bench.
I don't see it that way.
You got me. I'm like sweating over here a little bit right now.
Yeah, that's happening, bro. That's happening.
Oh my God.
You know what I want to see the most though? I want to see Marcus Smart on ball, looking like. Almost to the point where I kind of want to see the whole transition.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing, I'm sure he's going to start, but I wouldn't mind seeing Scottie Pippen Jr. start a few games with Smart at the 3, and then him coming in as the backup and seeing how he looks transitioning from starting on the wing and then
backing up at the point.
Because that's what we're expecting to see next year.
Yeah.
I want to see them actually do that a little bit this year if those guys come back. A lot of people are saying that it seems like it's going to be an out for the season announcement. I don't want to see that. I want to see those guys get some run. I don't think it's going to affect the standings. I've talked about that for a while. People who are on the tank thing or whatever, I get it. I get all that type of stuff. But I don't think anything is going to really affect where the Grizzlies are in the standings. We've talked about that a while ago. I don't think they're going to move too much between.
Even after that 9-game losing streak, people are still worried about the standings.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I mean,
honestly, we kind of are where we're going to be.
Yeah, we're kind of at where we are at this point.
You can't go too much higher. I don't think you can go down at all. I don't think you're going to go down to 6 or 5 at all, and I don't think you're going to drop below maybe 9 or 10 max, no matter how good you play, reverse standings, whatever. So I'm super interested in this Brandon Clark thing, though, man.
Oh my God,
we got about 26 to 28. It's like 26 games left, I think, something like that. I'm really interested in seeing what Brandon Clark looks like, because if Brandon Clark looks good next to Jaren and you can get some rebounding, and that lineup really looks good with those two guys, it really opens up what you can do this summer. I'm not going to say you want to run with that, but it kind of makes you feel a little better as far as things go. But yeah, like I said, good stuff. And something else that that Zay was talking about was Isaiah Hartenstein, the playmaker. I haven't watched enough of his game to tell you whether that's real or not. But I do know that I saw the rebound, and I saw him grabbing rebounds after rebounds on top of us. So I'm cool with that. But I've never really noticed that as being part of his game. So good observation from Zay. And something else too, man. Like I said, I'm swinging every day on this stuff, man. How I feel they should handle that draft pick changes. Seems like every day with me, bro. I thought about something. Like people were talking about, can you draft a center? Because I said today, they're probably not going to draft a center who can come in and play, right? And then you talk about the guys like Derek Lively in Dallas who've done it. Like he's a guy who's looked good, even though they did go out and get another center. And you talk about, okay, we need a Steven Adams type guy, right? Like rookie Steven Adams played for the Thunder and they were a playoff team. And he was, getting under Zach's ass. Like he was. Was
that his rookie year?
Yes, that was rookie year Steven Adams. Gosh. That's why we thought he was a lot older than he was, because we remember him being like a contributing player on that team. So is it really out of the realm of possibility to think that they could just go draft a center? I don't know that guy's in the draft, but man, it's just something. It's so many possibilities, so many things the Grizzlies could possibly do.
I think there's maybe one or two guys that could be that guy that you're talking about.
But man,
I just don't know if the Grizzlies are going to be in a position to do it.
Man.
Like with their draft pick, like we still don't know exactly what their draft pick is going to look like.
This is going to be the most interesting summer.
But I'll say this.
Ever for the Grizzlies.
I agree. I'll say this. I am firmly off the bandwagon of trading that pick. I think they're going to use it.
They're going to use it.
I think they're going to
use that pick.
They're going to use it, and they're going to use it to fill a need.
Yep.
Whether it's a backup center or whether it's a off the bench playmaker / facilitator scorer. Like they're going to use that pick.
Oh, another wing, man.
Or another wing.
Because there's the thing. If you let's say you pick another wing in this draft, he's like really good, right? Either that guy's a guy who's coming in, who's helping your team contribute, or he's a very solid piece you could trade, or whatever you want to do going forward, man. This is going to be a very interesting summer for the Grizzlies. I'm ready for the lottery to get here, to know exactly where we are. I'm ready for draft night. I'm ready for draft night trades. I'm ready for free agency to kick off. Because if you're doing a sign and trade, man, that might be like a midnight situation. Or you see like certain guys, what have the Knicks signed Hartenstein yet? Like, that type of stuff. It might be somewhere what Claxton, what they saying? Like that kind of, it's going to be crazy this summer. This offseason is going to be crazy for the Grizzlies for sure, man. But yeah, man, that's the 3-pointer, man. About to take a break, Kenny. When we come back, it's time for Inside the Sain Brain. We'll see you guys here on Anthony the Sain Show.
Vince is who we thought Dillon was going to be, right? He's turning into that player that's just a defensive menace, but can get you buckets. And it's just fun to watch him grow and develop into the player that he is, especially against Dillon Brooks.
It was a passing of the guard thing, but because for Dillon, it was always like you loved his grit, you loved his tenacity, you loved his nastiness on the defensive end, but he just shot you out of games. And you were just hoping like Vince Wiliams can be that guy, and he just won't shoot as much. But it's actually been this season, he's taken 4 3-pointers a game, 37% from 3, 44% from the field as a total. And it's the polar opposite on the offensive end of what Dillon offered.
Getting in Steph's head, getting in Luka's head, bugging these star players, grinning maniacally while he's covering Steph Curry, one of the greatest shooters of all time, because he's a straight-up Batman villain.
Tune in to the $2 Sports Show with Rusty Witten and Drew Gann every Friday at 3 p.m. only on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Woo! It has been quite the break.
I feel like that Vince McMahon meme where it's like, that's me right now.
Holy Toledo. TJ, we can't have 10% beers when we eat dinner at 5 o'clock and record at 11.
So I'm still waiting for Bada to get back with this there. So
did you have any hard-hitting questions? That'd be great. Great evidence.
We got the commercial break.
Supposedly, there's a video of Drake going around the internet, and Kenny just sent me a still shot. It's gonna take a minute to recover from that.
That's what she said. Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
But I just want to ask the question: should Derrick Rose retire?
I mean,
I'm being dead serious. It's not nothing against the guy.
I know you are. That's why it sucks.
I'm asking a legit question because he can't stay injury free. I don't know if it, maybe an off season helps.
Magic 8 Ball. All signs point to yes.
Sheesh. That's the sad part of it too.
It's again, like I know a lot of people want him to do the Udonis Haslam thing. Like that's the extent of Derrick Rose at this point. It's
okay.
Like, he still showed. I mean, he had a nice move under the basket tonight, but it's like he's always hurt for a reason, dude. His body's just it doesn't happen, right? And if he can fit into Udonis Haslam type role where he's just the bench guy and the vet for the team, then that's awesome.
Tune in to the Grizz 901 postgame show live after every Grizzlies game on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
All right, y'all. Welcome back to the Anthony Sain Show. Time for Inside the Sain Brain, man. Where I talk about something that's just on Ngannou's mind out here in these streets, man. Shout out again to Taco Ngannou's. Hey, it's all the free pub y'all get to, man. We are killing.
This is 2 straight episodes.
We are killing the euphemism of Ngannou's here today. Unless y'all got some of that paper, I will endorse y'all. We got a lot of segments you guys can sponsor if you want one. The good people. I might go holler at my guy, Gregorio Diaz.
Hit us up, Pastor.
Yeah, but Pastor. Yeah. Me and Ghana.
We'll even eat some tacos on air, man.
On the air. And I'll be in this joint, man. Super offensive. Y'all need me to. But yeah. Man. Inside the Same Brain. Well, I just talk about something that's on my mind. Now, Kenny, I try to stay out of political conversations, right? But sometimes you just got to talk about dumb shit that you just got to see, right? And I'm gonna talk about, shout out to the lady. I kind of want to talk about this too, man. The TikTok lady who's got this video, this 50-part series. Have you seen it?
Is it the, what's it called?
Yes.
I heard about it today.
This lady meets this guy that's like a pathological liar.
Yes.
And she makes this 50-part, like 8 or 9 hour
yes, I heard about it
playlist
today. Yeah.
talking about the stuff that she was bamboozled by this man. I'm like, lady, the more you talk, the worse you're making yourself look.
And
just being honest with you.
And number 2, that man's feeling super important right about now. What do you do with the
I'm a master of
What do you do with a narcissistic sociopath?
You shine light on them.
You ice them out, bro.
Yeah.
You freeze them out.
Yeah, but that's not she
is not doing that.
Yeah. I'm a master deceiver. I'm a master of deception out here. But yeah, I kind of want to talk about that. But,
I win.
Right. And that man had some top-notch lies he was telling too. That man was creating family members that weren't his family.
Jesus.
Type shit. But yeah, shout out to that lady for marrying a dude that she never met anybody in his family. Like that's a kind of a new one. Kenny, you met your wife's people and stuff before y'all got married, right?
Yeah. Well, we did most of our dating online. It was me in China, so like we were all on Zoom all the time. So yeah, I met them. Wish I'd gotten to know them a little bit better.
Right.
No, I'm just joking. I love in-laws. I'm joking.
But and other crazy shit. I'm not gonna say this person's name, right? I'm hoping that me not saying this person's name won't make this video flag off to that demographic, right? So the lady in that video was calling her ex-husband Legion. So that was the name she gave the dude. Is Legion is a fake name, right? So I'm gonna call this guy Cheeto is what I'm gonna call him. So a former leader of this country,
Cheeto head.
We're gonna call him Cheeto, right? So he drops his shoe line.
Hey, not even. Is it a line or is it just a pair of shoes?
Just a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
That would make Big Baller Brand look like Jordans. Shoes are going for $400.
Make Jonathan Isaacs look like they're KDs, man. What are you talking about?
Look like some Jaws or something.
The holy rollers.
Look
man.
like some Kobe Grinches. But anyway, man.
Look like Marty McFly from
Man,
Back to the
make
Future,
the holy
man.
rollers look like what's his name? God, why am I so hard with names? I gotta stop all this damn smoking, bro. My memory is gone. The joke is over now. Don't worry about it.
I got you.
Make it like it looked like Jonathan Isaac shoes look like Lil Nas X devil shoes.
Let's go. Some blood in the middle of it. Didn't Little Nas X put some blood in the middle of his shoe or something
like that, man? I think that was like the idea of the prototype or something.
Yeah.
If I was to think about evil shoes, I think I have the Lil Nas X is one still.
Still one? Yeah.
Yeah. And then this crap is probably
Number two.
The Cheeto.
The Cheeto.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Let's call it the Cheeto.
Right. It's like this fake gold.
Oh my God.
It's on the base model of like some Bobos, like American flag on the Cooper flag. You need to put them in Cooper flag.
Cooper
man.
Flag's gonna be rocking those day one.
Cooper flag gonna be rocking them Cheeto joints
at Duke next year.
Yeah. My God. If that happened for real, bro, I'd be like, get this dude out of here. But yeah, Admiral Cheeto, the leader of the free world, former leader of the free world, dropped his shoe, and then this guy on Fox News is like, "Hey man, this really speaks to your black demographic, man."
Real quick before you get to that part, the first night that he dropped him at SneakerCon. By the way,
stop it for real.
He was at SneakerCon. He dropped him at SneakerCon and got booed. They booed him.
I'm sure they did.
I got these shoes for you. Boo!
Get your ass out of here.
And somebody,
get your freaky ass out of here.
Some clearly a patriot, somebody who clearly loves America, bought the first pair for $9,000.
And they're like, and the guy on Fox News is like,
yeah,
you know, man, black people, you know those colors and they love. I'm like, bro, like, what the hell? Like, bro, it really pissed me off. I'm on Twitter. I'm like watching this white guy get on Fox News and say,
reaching out to the black demographic.
This is really, man, nobody touches the culture.
Yeah.
Like Cheeto.
Oh, sorry.
You messing up the algorithm, man.
Damn it. I'm gonna bleep that out.
Yeah, make sure you get that out of the algorithm, man. I don't even want to talk about this crap.
Yeah.
But like, it's like, bro, that's so offensive to like think that now our black people, gaudy, yes. Do we spend money? Yes. Do we love to floss and show off and all that type of thing? Yes, we are. But man, don't simplify my race to be like on some goofball stuff where like, if there are black people that rock with, I mean, rock with, take that out. Cheeto,
I got it. Yep. Cheeto.
Sure there are, right? You know what I mean? It's a ton of people who do, and they've got the right to do that for whatever reason. You know what I mean? But like to act like just because this dude dropped some shoes, he's gonna like the black voter's gonna swing his way. And there are a lot of black people who are out on Biden, right? Because if there were any other like Democratic candidate or any other candidate, period, I don't really get into that party stuff. Like if there were any like dope ass candidate, I'd be voting for whoever that dude is, right? Against Trump. But like against, oh man,
I'm gonna be bleeping this
up all night. I can't say F. I might as well just throw some F bombs in there now, man. So Cheeto, right? So yeah, there you go, Kenny. Why you at it? You know, all the same. It's all the same space.
It'll all
man.
be there anyway. Yeah.
Right, just get it out. So like, people got the right to do that, man. But to think that like black people are that simple, like we're going to like choose who our presidential candidate is because of some freaking gold Payless shoes.
Can I even bring it back to a little bit further? A little bit.
Yeah, go ahead.
You're on a real nuanced level right now, and I understand why you are. To me, the most annoying thing is this dopey ass Elmer the Fudd looking dude acting like he knows anything about anybody else's culture
other than like creepo, weird old white rich white man.
I mean, like that, like even on that level is offensive to me. Just like, dude, bro, you don't know nothing about nothing.
But just nasty shit, like creep.
Like your browser history probably looks
disgusting.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's the part. Like in that sense, like yes, you're on a very nuanced level, and I appreciate that. For me, I'm just like, bro, you don't know nothing about nothing, man.
Well,
Shut
nothing.
up. Be quiet.
Right. You can't relate to nothing about black culture. For that guy, I don't even know who that dude was. I don't watch the news. I don't know nothing about who these news personalities are. But it was just some pure clown shit coming out of Fox News and coming out of former President Cheeto for sure. But I tell you what, man, it's been another great show. Shout out to my boy Xavier Dotson, man. Came in, rocked it today, man. Good stuff. Super, super, super smart young man. I hate to call him a kid. He's a grown-ass man. But he's, out there doing his thing, man. We're about to get up out of here, man. It's been another great week. Tiger basketball got the win. Got FAU coming in this weekend. We'll know. If you go out there and beat FAU, man, it might be time to talk about what does the rest of this season look like and what does the AAC tournament look like as well.
Like I said, man, it depends on what side of the bed Penny wakes up
Exactly.
on.
Exactly. The
Grizzlies, and I say that in a joking way, but I mean it.
Yeah.
Like, if Penny comes in with the
and he
lineup,
stays like on that tight rotation type shit.
Tight rotation with Naquan at the 3, there's not a team more talented in the AAC than they are. And they can go they can go into Fort Worth and they can absolutely win 4 games in 4 games.
Still that hope. But yeah, man, for Kenny Stubblefield behind the glass, for my guest today, Xavier Dotson, shout out to you, man. Thanks for coming on. We'll see you guys next time, and we out.
Thank you for listening to the Anthony Sain Show. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. For comprehensive coverage of Memphis sports, head over to www.bluffcitymedia.co and find out how you can become an insider. We will see you back here next week.